The airport was breathing the way it always did, slow, mechanical, indifferent, until one moment shattered its rhythm. Conveyor belts hummed, fluorescent lights buzzed, and tired travelers stared at their phones, unaware that something extraordinary was seconds away from unfolding. Then, without warning, a trained police dog lunged forward, barking wildly at the luggage belt, his disciplined posture collapsing into raw urgency. His handler froze. Officers rushed in. Passengers stepped back in confusion. Whatever was inside that blue suitcase had just turned an ordinary day into something no one there would ever forget. Before the story continues, take a moment to pause. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the idea that humanity can still surprise us in the most unexpected places, please like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. The dog's name was Rex, a seasoned K9 with years of service behind him. He had sniffed thousands of bags, detected threats without hesitation, and remained calm in situations that rattled even experienced officers. Rex was known for his composure, for his ability to assess danger with quiet confidence. But now he was anything but calm. His body trembled, his barking echoed across the terminal, and his eyes locked onto one suitcase, as if the world had narrowed down to that single object. The blue suitcase moved slowly along the belt, unremarkable in size, scuffed at the edges, like 100 others passing by. Yet Rex reacted as if his very life depended on stopping it. His handler, Officer Daniel Harris, felt his heart pound as he tightened his grip on the leash. Daniel had been working with Rex for 4 years, and he trusted him more than any machine or scanner. When Rex behaved like this, it meant something was wrong, or something was desperately trying to be noticed. Daniel signaled to airport security, and within seconds, the area around the luggage belt was cleared. Travelers watched from a distance, whispering, their irritation quickly turning into unease. No one liked delays, but everyone understood when danger was a possibility. The suitcase was removed from the belt and placed in a secured zone. Rex refused to back away. He circled it, pawed at it, whimpered between sharp barks, his behavior bordering on panic. This wasn't the reaction to explosives or narcotics that Daniel had seen before. This was different. It felt emotional, almost personal, as if Rex wasn't warning of a threat but pleading for attention. Daniel felt a knot tighten in his chest, a sense that whatever lay inside the suitcase was alive in some way, or at least carried a weight far heavier than contraband. Airport protocol kicked in swiftly. Bomb squad procedures were initiated, officers prepared for the worst, and cameras zoomed in. The owner of the suitcase was nowhere to be found, which only heightened the tension. Minutes stretched into long, suffocating silence. Rex sat beside the suitcase now, no longer barking but whining softly, his ears pinned back, eyes fixed on the zipper as if willing it to open. Daniel knelt beside him, his own nerves fraying, feeling helpless in the face of his partner's distress. When the call finally came to open the suitcase manually, the air felt thick enough to choke on. An officer slowly unzipped it, every movement deliberate. People held their breath, expecting wires, weapons, something terrible. Instead, the lid lifted to reveal something no one had prepared for. Inside the blue suitcase, wrapped in thin blankets and struggling to breathe, was a small child. The terminal erupted into stunned silence. No screams, no gasps, just a collective shock that froze everyone in place. The child couldn't have been more than 4 years old, his face pale, eyes wide with confusion and fear. He was alive barely, his chest rising in shallow breaths. There were no toys, no clothes beyond what he wore, just the unmistakable signs of neglect and desperation. In that moment, Rex's behavior made heartbreaking sense. He hadn't detected danger, he had detected life in peril. The child was rushed into the arms of paramedics who had been standing by, their expressions shifting from professional detachment to visible emotion. Rex followed, refusing to leave the child's side, whining softly as if checking to make sure he was real, that help had truly arrived. Daniel felt tears sting his eyes, unashamed of them. Years of training had taught him to remain composed, but this moment cut through every layer of armor he had built. As the child was carried away, wrapped now in warmth and care, the reality of what had almost happened sank in. Someone had placed a living human being inside a suitcase and sent him down a luggage belt, hoping he would slip through unnoticed. Whether it was an act of trafficking, desperation, or cruelty was still unknown, but the fact remained that without Rex, that child might not have survived. The airport, a place of constant movement and fleeting connections, had nearly become the site of an unimaginable tragedy. Investigators worked quickly, piecing together fragments of information. Security footage showed a woman leaving the suitcase near the check-in area before disappearing into the crowd. Her face was partially obscured, her movements hurried. No one knew yet if she was a parent, a trafficker, or someone caught in circumstances too complex to judge at first glance. What mattered now was the child, whose fragile breaths in a hospital bed became the quiet center of a storm of questions. Daniel visited the hospital later that night, Rex at his side. The child was stable, doctors said, dehydrated and frightened but alive. Rex lay on the floor near the bed, his head resting on his paws, eyes never leaving the small figure under the blankets. Nurses smiled through tears, calling him a hero, though Rex seemed unaware of titles or praise. He had done what he was trained to do, guided by instincts that went deeper than commands. As news of the incident spread, the world reacted with a mix of horror and hope. Horror at the cruelty that could lead someone to hide a child in a suitcase, and hope in the reminder that compassion and vigilance still existed. Messages poured in praising the K-9 unit, the officers, the quick response that had saved a life. But beyond headlines and viral clips, there was a quieter impact, one that lingered in the hearts of those who witnessed it firsthand. Daniel found himself changed by the experience. He had joined the force to protect people, to make a difference, but moments like this redefined what that meant. Protection wasn't always about stopping threats. Sometimes it was about hearing a silent cry for help and refusing to ignore it. Rex, curled up beside him at night, seemed to sense the shift, their bond deepened by the shared weight of what they had seen. The child, eventually placed under protective care, began to recover not just physically but emotionally. He clung to caregivers, startled easily, but there were signs of resilience. Small smiles returned. Laughter, tentative at first, began to break through the fear. Every step forward felt like a victory, a quiet defiance against the darkness he had been pulled from. Rex became something of a symbol, not just within the department but beyond it. His image circulated as a reminder that sometimes heroes don't wear uniforms or speak words. Sometimes they have 4 legs, sharp senses, and hearts tuned to suffering others might overlook. Yet Daniel knew that Rex would be back at work soon, sniffing bags, walking terminals, ready to act again without hesitation. Before we reach the end of this story, take a moment right now and comment below. Share what this moment made you feel, or simply type a word that represents hope to you. Your comments help this community grow and remind others they are not alone. The airport returned to its routine eventually. Belts moved, planes departed, and new travelers replaced those who had witnessed the incident. But for those who were there that day, something lingered. A reminder that beneath the surface of ordinary life, extraordinary moments wait, testing our humanity in ways we can never predict. Stories like this don't end neatly. The investigation continued. Questions remained unanswered, but one truth stood unshakable. A life had been saved because someone, or rather some dog, refused to stay silent. In a world often overwhelmed by noise, it was the urgency of a bark that cut through everything else. If this story touched your heart, if it made you feel something deep and real, please take a second to like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps bring more stories of courage, kindness, and second chances to light. Sometimes inspiration doesn't come from grand speeches or heroic poses. Sometimes it comes from a sudden moment of chaos in a crowded airport, from a blue suitcase on a moving belt, and from a loyal police dog who simply listened to what others could not hear.